Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Dan Blanchard with the Traveling Time with Dan Show, where we mix travel with history, with leadership, and of course with me, Dan Blanchard. Today I am in Pawtucket, Rhode Island at the old Slater Mill. As you can see right here, this is the birthplace of American industry. Okay. Now, if you know about your Industrial Revolution, you realize that England was in the Industrial Revolution before America was, before the United States was, and that they guarded their secrets of the Industrial Revolution, the cotton, the cloth making stuff. They had guarded their secrets as national security. This helped them keep like a monopoly on what they were doing in the Industrial Revolution, and helped them, make a lot of money, and all the things that kind of come with the money. So England practiced what was called like a protectionism, right, where nothing could leave England regarding their Industrial Revolution, their cloth making. If somebody knew how to make the stuff, they weren't allowed to leave. They could not leave England. Right? So you get this guy, Samuel Slater. He has like an apprenticeship there over England, and he memorizes the blueprints, right, from his work. Now, you're not allowed to take out any blueprints. You could go to jail, right? Can't leave the country. It's against the law. He tries to leave the country. He could be caught, arrested, and imprisoned for leaving the country, right? So he does something. He memorizes the blueprints, which is absolutely amazing. He memorizes the blueprints. He dresses himself as like a farm hand and leaves England. He realizes that his future is not in England, but his future is in the independent United States. That's where his future is, not there in England. So when he gets to the United States, he's got this. He hooks up with this guy named Moses Brown. Moses Brown here in Pawtucket had a mill that wasn't doing well, right? Samuel's got the knowledge. Moses Brown's got the money. They get together and they form what you see right over here, right? The Slater Mill. Interesting, they didn't name it after the money guy. They named it after the guy who had the knowledge, Samuel Slater, all right? And he came in with what was called the arc-white system, which was the water-powered, which you see over here. There's a river there, right? The water-powered spinning of basically cotton into yarn. And England was very upset with Samuel Slater. They called him Slater the Traitor, right? Of course, here in America, we loved him. We called him the father of the American Industrial Revolution, right? And what you're looking at right here, this is basically America's first water-powered cotton spinning mill. It's the first, basically, in America, first in the country, is right here in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, under Samuel Slater. Now, of course, there are some trade-offs here. I mean, we're going to have an abundance of consistent energy, which is absolutely fabulous, but there's going to be some trade-offs, with industrialization, because pollution and a whole bunch of other little trade-offs. But this is what's going to allow America to develop into a powerhouse, is because of what's going on right here. All right? Now, Samuel Slater, he basically works this like Rhode Island system, right? Where it's like family labor. It's dependable labor for him. And he builds around his factories, like his villages where his workers are going to live. His stores where his workers are going to have to shop, right? And he's got obviously their homes where, they're going to live here. And this was good and bad in many different ways, but it was good. It gave families like a family collective income that really helped them get by, right? But, they had to start shopping at his store, live in his place, go to his Sunday school, go to his church. Basically, he took a lot of their power away because they became super dependent on the mill system here, or the Rhode Island system. They became super dependent on it, so they gave away, or they lost a lot of their power for that collective family income, which was definitely tough, right? Now, another thing I want you to know, going back in those days, is that child labor was common. All the factories used child labor. You know, they had those little fingers. They could reach into the machines easier than the adults with the big fingers, and they got less pay. Unfortunately, sometimes those little fingers got cut off when they were reaching inside those machines unclog them or get them running again, right? All right, now, England was a little bit ahead of the United States on this. England outlawed child labor in the early 1800s. It would take the United States about another 100 years or so, to early 1900s, to outlaw the child labor. All right, so yeah, we focus a lot on capitalism here in the United States, and that's what we do. And sometimes, you know, it takes longer to do what England or Europe does when it comes to like social stuff. All right, so while I want you to notice again the river here that powered it. So listen, this wasn't the only factory in America, okay? I mean, there were actually other factories, and while there were other factories that existed elsewhere in the United States, the Slater Mill demonstrated that large-scale industrial manufacturing could actually succeed in America. And it helped transform, you know, a nation from like agricultural, that's what we were. It helped transform a nation from agriculture to society of an industrial one. But the United States will go on to making lots of money and will become a powerhouse around the world with industrial capacity, you know, with the money and with all the things the money can buy, military might, all that stuff. That all comes right here from this place right here, the Slater Mill, Pawtucket, Rhode Island, okay? Now, you know, I like to mix travel with history, with leadership. This place is definitely a cool place. You should definitely travel down here. Check this place out. I've given you some history. So now what's the leadership, okay? Here it is. The leadership is innovation creates opportunity, but it also creates responsibility. I mean, think about those little kids' fingers going into the machines, right? Think about the trade-off of pollution. Gosh, there's so many other things. I mean, there's so many good things about people moving off the farm, but some bad things too, right? There's a responsibility there to try to balance that stuff the best you can, all right? I mean, effective leaders, what do? They balance, right? They try to balance it with fairness, with ethics, right? And with responsibility, all right? Well, everybody, thank you for spending some time with me today on the Travel on Time with Dan show, where we mix travel with history, with leadership, and of course, me, Dan Blanchard. I'm going to be back real soon with another great episode. Till then, you take care of yourself.